This is Wendy Williams, and that's Jose Verdugo. What do they have in common? They've been deemed incapacitated, and they shared the same attorney. Let's get into it.
In the last week, we've had Wendy Williams news. Wendy Williams' dream New York City penthouse sold by Guardian for a loss after former TV host deemed incapacitated. I think we need to start paying attention to the word incapacitated when it comes to these guardians. This shouldn't be any news to anybody. Sabrina Morsi is the guardian of Wendy Williams. She's taken over her finances, taken over her life. We don't know where Wendy Williams is at. This public personality that a lot of us would watch, talk a lot about these ridiculous celebrities and really bring the tea, right? So back in February, it was reported that the New York judge that was overseeing Wendy's guardianship was previously under investigation over what was described as a concerning link between her guardianship cases.
The guardianship judges in New York City and campaign donations made to them by the people they later appointed to guardianship cases.
Guardians are paid by their wards, the people they take care of. In many cases, guardians can bill whatever they want, sometimes $600 to $800 an hour. The donations to the judges are not illegal. But as Kristen found out, some of those trying to reform the guardianship system in New York wonder, is it ethical?
Judge Lisa Sokoloff gave 7 guardianship appointments this year to attorney Paul Medeiros. We found he donated $1,000 to her this year. We brought the donation data we found to New York State Senator Brad Hoylman, the chairman of the Senate's Judiciary Committee.
You can't draw a straight line between political donations and public policy. It's never that clear whether you're in the legislative branch, the executive, or the judiciary. But I will tell you this, it is concerning.
So WABC did a 6-month investigation of Judge Lisa Sokoloff. She is the judge overseeing Wendy Williams' case. She appointed Sabrina Morsi. The news station learned that Sokoloff awarded guardianships to attorneys, law firms, and other parties who donated to her Supreme Court campaign fund between 2019 and 2022. So the judge received over $5,720 in campaign donations and granted about 62 appointments in 2022 alone, according to those records. And the news station actually pulled a lot of those records. Now, Sabrina Morsi was also appointed a case of a man. His name is Jose Verdugo.
Jose Verdugo dreams of being a professional chef. For now, he tests his recipes every night, making dinner for his children in Washington Heights after working long hours on New York City construction sites. And he recently became a certified home health aide. Why is this important? Because Jose is incapacitated, according to a Manhattan court.
You heard that correctly. They deemed Jose Verdugo incapacitated. The same verbiage, incapacitated, like Wendy Williams, as you see in many articles. Jose Verdugo is standing there cooking. That is Jose Verdugo, cooking the rice and getting certifications. I mean, can an incapacitated person achieve these kinds of things? You have to kind of wonder.
A court-appointed guardian controls his personal and financial decisions.
Nobody listens to me and they just ignore me.
The Ecuadorian immigrant who spoke in Spanish through a translator believes he is being held legally captive.
Every month they take money from me and they know that I'm fine.
What's also worth mentioning is that Jose was severely injured in 2003 in an industrial accident and later won a $5 million personal injury award. He says it came after his attorney recommended a guardianship for him in 2009. Jose and his family claim he's now fully recovered, but is still trapped.
The money that I got is getting smaller and smaller every day.
Jose's children are baffled and angry.
He's been doing everything and anything for us, his family, cooks, cleans, goes to work, provides for their family.
Last October, Jose's daughter, Fatima, filed a petition to compel the current judge in her father's case, Carol Sharp, to hold an immediate hearing on the termination of Verdugo's guardianship. It notes he remains unjustly and indefinitely captive to a guardianship he neither needs nor wants, and that the judge's failure to act shocks the conscience. The family provided several medical evaluations to the court.
I want you guys to remember the name Judge Carol Sharp. Carol Sharp, Lisa Sokoloff, Judge Sokoloff, and of course Sabrina Morrissey. These three women are part of an initiative, and I think it's important to point that out right now. Now, let me just say this. The family is advocating for their father. Children are advocating for their father. They're saying that my dad does not need to be in this guardianship. He was initially awarded $5.5 million, and it's dwindled to $2.45 million. And a lot of that has gone to attorney fees in the 10 years. It's gone to, administrative fees, all kinds of fees, right? While this man has sat here and has these documents that prove that he is not incapacitated. Why did it take 10 years for Jose Verdugo to show and demonstrate that he did not need this kind of a guardianship or supervision with this attorney? Help me understand how this works. And this is the same lady that is overseeing Wendy Williams right now.
Court.
Everything is lies, fake. And even after we show proof, the judge does not want to listen.
Attorney Mark Alante is now helping the family pro bono, but he says it's challenging because Jose's file is sealed.
Here's a Latino immigrant who's being deprived of his civil rights. Bottom line, that is a misuse of the system.
Wendy Williams' files are under seal as well. Makes you wonder how many guardianship files are under seal because we can't review them. I get the fact that this is protect the information, medical information specifically, but somebody who's a public figure like Wendy Williams and somebody who is looking over other people's, interests, I honestly think that it's of the public's interest to find out and make sure that people are actually being taken care of and not being taken advantage of judicially, right? Judicially, because, people are so worried about financial abuse and elder abuse and all that other stuff. Well, how do we know that it's not applying also at the judicial level? You have to kind of wonder.
System.
Judge Sharp's guardianship rulings have come under fire in another recent case. The I-Team reported that these women, friends of an elderly Upper West Side resident named Paulette Kohler with no living family, were denied visitation for months. The allegations that one of them, Inga Egerud, who had power of attorney, was suspected of elder financial abuse. None was ever found. Their friends feel the judge has often been irrational.
All we were doing was caring about our friend. I had brought Paulette 2 bouquets of flowers when I went to visit her, and the judge was literally screaming at me, "No more flowers, no more flowers."
They say their attorney asked for the hearing transcripts, but has not gotten them. After our story aired about Paulette, her friends were granted unlimited access, but the guardianship remains. She is now in hospice care. Jose Verdugo is ready for a legal battle. He and his attorneys believe it should be easier to find out how his money is being spent.
Let's get him out of guardianship, and let's see the extent to which this guardianship has eroded or hemorrhaged his assets.
A spokesman for the courts told us Judge Sharp's priority is protecting those in guardianships. She has now scheduled a hearing for tomorrow morning on the termination of Jose's guardianship. He says he'll be there in person, hoping his voice will finally be heard. From Washington Heights, Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York.
So that was back in November of 2022, right? Immediately when Judge Carol Sharp found out that there's an investigation going on, as there should be of every judge, especially in probate courts, especially in the guardianship and GALs, guardian ad litem, there should be more investigation in this. As soon as she found out about this investigation, immediately she wants to set a hearing. Let's investigate her finances. What happened to this money? There needs to be somebody in forensics that can look into that, because what it's giving, it's giving these attorneys are paying themselves very highly to have stayed in this man's case for 10 years. Just imagine what they're going to do to Wendy. January of 2021, there was this New York Women's Bar Association newsletter. It sounds like Sabrina is the treasurer of this committee, right? And I want to read to you a little bit of what this committee oversees as well, this initiative specifically. And it involves Judge Lisa Sokoloff and Judge Carol Sharp.
Let me read this part right here. December 8th, 2020, the New York Women's Bar Association launched the new Guardianship Diversity Initiative. The idea for this groundbreaking new program came from Honorable Lisa Sokoloff, the same judge that was being investigated. It took about 6 months or 7 months for taking the money, and then appointing more cases to certain attorneys, those that donated. So she started this initiative called the GID, the Guardianship Diversity Initiative. Okay. Judge Sokoloff recognized the need to diversify the pool of attorneys eligible for court appointments as court evaluators, attorneys for allegedly incapacitated persons. Allegedly incapacitated persons. There's that word again. There's that allegedly incapacitated person.
Is incapacitated, according to a Manhattan court.
And guardians in the Article 81 guardianships. The GID includes a mentoring component to pair attorneys new to the practice with experienced volunteers. The NYWBA thanks the New York County guardianship judges, the Honorable Tanisha James, Honorable Mary Rosado, and Honorable Carol Sharp, Honorable Lisa Sokoloff, and then there's Honorable Carol Sharp. So they like to thank the New York County guardianship judges, all these judges, and Honorable Lisa Sokoloff for sharing their insight at a hugely successful launch event. To learn more about how you can participate in the GID or obtain access to a recording of the launch event, contact our Elder Law and Disabilities Co-Committee chairs. Who's in the Co-Committee chair? Lisette Ferreira, Antonia Martinez, and Sabrina Morsi. So Sabrina is in the chair of the GID as well.
So Lisa Sokoloff started this groundbreaking guardianship diversity initiative. Lisa Sokoloff and Judge Carol Sharp were part of this event where they shared some of the experiences, right? The chair of this initiative is Sabrina Morsi. And she's the one that's appointed on Wendy Williams' case, right? And then, of course, then you have Jose Verdugo's case. This man was basically incarcerated in this guardianship for 10 years while these specific judges oversaw that case. No, there's nothing like crazy about that. I did a video early on this topic because I thought it was important to point out how we have to pay attention to Wendy's guardianship and everybody else as well, because I didn't realize that looking into this, just the level of corruption. There has been so many complaints specifically about these judges and Sabrina Morsi and the way that they have handled guardianship cases and this new guardianship initiative that they try to push on folks. Let me explain something to you. I don't know what an incapacitated person is. Yes, Guardianship 81 has the definition up there. But you mean to tell me somebody like Jose Verdugo, who has basically legally captive out of his decision making and finances to support some invisible incapacitation of him? I guess I'm just confused by that. Was this just a mistake, a 10-year mistake? What exactly was that? And let me point something out that one of my subbies said. Rando Girl said, I would like a financial investigation on all of Carol Sharp's interests immediately. Zero coincidence that one judge favors restraining the rights of people who don't truly qualify for a conservatorship. This is a reason why Wendy Williams is under Jane Doe, in my opinion. This judge is showing us how anti-American she is by stealing the rights of the people. Shout out to her. I couldn't agree more. I'll see you guys on the next one. You let me know what you think in the comments, all right? Rabbits out. Bye, guys.